Hello friends, it's Monica, also known as Sleep After 60, and I am here for my week 29 update. It's October 4th of 2017. I had VSG on March 14th of 2017 at University of Minnesota Fairview Hospital with Dr. Daniel Leslie. So let's see. Today I weighed in at 146. And so my total loss since the beginning, which was over 2 years ago of this process, is 94 pounds. Since surgery, 52 pounds. And since November, when I moved to the University of Minnesota, 78 pounds. So things are going well. You know, I continue to say that, and I don't know, for some reason, which I think others have also shared in their blogs. Sometimes I kind of feel a little shaky and a little not embarrassed, but embarrassed is almost a word. I guess not worthy is the bottom line about coming and just, every week and just sort of saying, things are going well, or I'm not struggling. I mean, I struggle with other issues in my life. Right now, I'm just not struggling with food and food choices. And, my dear therapist, who I continue to see every week, she just reminded me last week about how, this, although I'm making a decision to lose weight, to actually have surgery was only a year ago, but that I started, sort of making some different health choices 2 years ago, that this has been 8.5 years in the making, having gone to eating disorder treatment, and really making a commitment to it. So a commitment to not dieting, for one thing, a commitment to not doing the binging, and then, the restriction, and whether it be dieting or not. So that was a really good reality check for me, because I guess I've failed at dieting so many times that, when I see this, that it's going along, that it's not a daily struggle with me, that somehow I start to question the validity of it and the reality of it, when in fact, I have a new tool. I put in a lot of work, and I think that makes a huge difference. And I know that in that community, at least it's been my experience, that when I talk about an eating disorder, that some people, don't like for me to use that term. But, certainly that's what it was for me. And had I not made peace with my struggle, and figured out what was going on, I'm not sure that that the tool would have helped, that the surgery would have helped as much as it's helping, because although I had resolved some of the actual eating disordered thinking, how food made me feel, how overeating made me feel, how dieting made me feel. Had I not resolved that, I wouldn't have been able to just decide, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to restrict for, to lose weight. In the past, I just couldn't do it. It would be one or the other. It would be this whole idea of, I start tomorrow, I start Monday, I can't, or, something would come up. And so it was a struggle for me. And now, right now, it isn't. It's just is. It's just part of how I feed, how I take care of myself, a lot of self-care. So, I struggle with my channel because on the one hand, I want to share my experience and share my insight, and it's hard to do that without without assuming things, you know, without assuming that others have the same struggle that I do, and that I can make a difference without being asked. You know, nobody's calling me and saying, well, that's not true, because people have called and asked me what, you know, how I'm doing and things like that, or what my thinking is. So, you know, I'm struggling with that. I'm struggling with that with the channel. I have almost 400 subscribers. I don't really work hard at looking for subscribers, but it's nice, you know, to get that feedback, to get that support, because I really do mean it when I say that we're in this together. However, I do feel that I have a different point of view, and that my point of view comes from the idea that aside from being 64 years old and having started my first diet was at 13 with a doctor with medication, that aside from that, that having gone through this program that I went, national recognized program, you know, that I got a lot of information, and I was able really to change my life. But it wasn't a program where, you know, you go and you lose weight. It wasn't like that. As a matter of fact, I gained weight before I lost it. So it's a whole different way of looking at food, and at, you know, I use the word, I know that you know, some of the people that I follow, I use the word binge eating, because it was more than, you know, it was emotional eating, it was binge eating, it was compulsive overeating, it was, you know, different people have different names for it. And I know that in the past, when I've used that language, that sometimes people's feelings were hurt. And again, I know I keep saying this over and over again, because I do feel badly that I may have felt to some that I was diagnosing, and I'm not. I mean, I don't know what everybody else's personal experience with food is. And I realize that, you know, just because somebody's BMI is over 40 doesn't necessarily mean that they had the relationship with food that I did, even though, you know, mine wasn't at 40. So I'm talking in circles to sort of come up with the same thing of, where am I going from now? Where am I going from here? Do I just come in every week and just say, oh, here, you know, the last 2 weeks I lost 1.3 pounds. I think just the last month, let me look. The last month I lost 2.2 pounds. The month before that was 5.8. So it's slowing down. So, you know, where do I go from here with this channel? You know, I saw my doctor for my 6-month checkup. I saw my bariatric team, and a couple of things. I don't have to go back for another 6 months. I don't have to go back to the year. The first thing that they told me was that I am now normal weight, which was, you know, nice to hear. That was number one. Number two, I didn't need blood work before, because last time, you know, my blood work was appropriate. So it seems like everything is okay. The team was happy to hear that, you know, that I'm not, at this point, I'm not struggling. They were very supportive in acknowledging that I have fears about regain, of course. They were very supportive in telling me that, you know, they're there, that if I start to gain, that at 10 pounds, not 100, that I can go back, that there is medication that I can go back on. to help me if that happens. And I would not, I would not hesitate to do that, hopefully. And if I do, will somebody please contact me and remind me of that. So, so again, I also want to talk about, fun things like I have, I've been able to pull clothes from my closet. I have new clothes. And I want to be able to celebrate those things without it feeling like, oh, gee, am I hurting somebody's feelings? And a year ago when I started my channel, and I was, 200 and whatever, 230 pounds, there are people that were 130 pounds and who, most of those aren't doing videos anymore. And now I understand why. So, so here's, if you've stuck this long, so here's my question to you. I'm about to hit 400 subscribers. Will you please ask me or leave a message, or let's open a discussion about where, because I know that others are also changing their sort of their focus, and I'm thinking about that. There's a lot to be said about aging, fashion, looks, make today count, bloom where you're planted and all of that, which, I think I have a voice in that. So will you let me know and leave comments so that I can go back maybe next week and sort of discuss those and help me figure this out? I would really, really appreciate that. I also, I'm thinking about doing some newbie informational kind of things, because I think I'm such a researcher that I had a lot of information that I can share. I just did my plastic surgery, my second opinion about my arms, which I will be probably at the end of November, early December, having surgery to do that. So let me know what you think. Sort of where should I go and what would be helpful? What do you want to hear about? And let's have an open discussion about that. I would really, really like that. So everybody have a good week. And with everything that's happening in the news, sometimes it's hard to talk about red lipstick, isn't it? And to just put on a smile. And I'm trying really hard to do that in my own life. So we're in this together. Besos to everyone. Have a great week. And I'll talk to you next week. Thank you.